Recording in progress.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. You?
Fine.
I started to go back through the edited list, but didn't get very far.
Which
The
one?
only-
Those four
the only thing-
documents?
Yeah, the only thing I would recommend is taking out the plants that don't even grow in this part of the world.
I don't know where those lists came from originally. I think they may have, they come off the Buncombe County site. They came off some random site. I think that
What's his
personally,
name puts all that together.
I was gonna say personally for me, Joe and Bill did them originally. Personally for me, the one that's like a write-up of what is a native and the one that's a write-up of what's an invasive, I would keep those. But those other two that are long lists of plants, I would delete them entirely because unless it's people like you and Joe, I mean, I know plants by some plants by common names because my mom loved gardening, but there's a lot that I look at it and I'm like, what was that one again? And how big does it grow? So it doesn't do people any good to have a list. They need photos. So like a link to even
Well-
BB Barnes' site where, because they have like, you know what,
Yeah.
but those lists of plants,
There's a
Or
new site
just-
that's just been put up by the Garden of Chapel Hill. I haven't spent a lot of time on them, but the few that I looked at had very good pictures.
and that's what
And that's in
people,
the public domain.
okay. So to me, that kind of stuff is more valuable. I just went ahead and did all four. And, you know, I actually went and looked like in the Buncombe County ordinance, because like, this is Buncombe County ordinance, so-and-so page 14. It's like, it's not page 14 anymore because they've edited it and it's now page 16. And so it's just, you can say ordinance and be vague, you know. And the other one that said these are in the Monterey ordinances, they pulled the plant list out of the ordinances because it really shouldn't, I understand why they pulled it out. It's just too, you know.
It should be in the ordinance.
It should be in an ordinance. It doesn't seem like the right place for it to live. So anyway, so you know, it's like, but those long lists, I just don't think it's worth the paper to print them. Is my personal opinion. But since they were done and people spent time, I just did all four.
No, I agree. Now, Joe's
So-
list comes from an organization that I can't call its name because I've not been a part of it, but it's a group of hikers in this part of the world who get together on regular
It's his
Saturdays
botany club,
and
the
go for walks.
Western North Carolina Botany Club. I think
And so
that's what it is.
they have this long list that they use as a checklist. They go out on a day and they see how many things they can find on the checklist. Well, the checklist is good for the Appalachian Mountains.
Okay.
So, you know,
Okay.
it's not necessarily 100% accurate for the
Here.
Monterey County.
Yeah.
For instance, and I could be wrong, I don't think Mary Phillip grows in waters in Buncombe County.
Okay. Yeah. See, and I don't even know what that is. I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Would survive in this part of the world.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just think it's too geeky for your average person who's walking through this, you know. Maybe a link to something on your land care site would be more appropriate because everybody's on their devices now. The other one, I started on it yesterday. It was one that I know she's out of town. Anyway, I just used the PDF converter on it. But it was one that was like gardening in Monterey, start here, and it was like a 4-page thing. It's on the land care site. But I was going to update that one because we were in Melly Mac's shop, and she said she's closing.
Again?
No, I mean like selling her business, 'cause she bought a house outside of town, so I don't know anymore. But she's
The second
like,
time in the few years I've been here that she shut down.
I don't know, she sounded like she wanted to sell her land. But I haven't seen a for sale sign, I haven't been by there recently.
I don't know where any place is.
It's down by where the Black Mountain Town stuff is, where the car dealership used to be, down behind the chimney place.
Oh, that part, no wonder I don't know where it is.
Yeah, so-
I haven't been down that road since the barber shop closed.
Yeah, there's, if you like Italian food, they call it Old Town, Old Town or what, they've got a name for it. But it's where the dealership, it's like across from Que Sera. There's a parking lot back there, there's an Italian food truck out there and a Lebanese food truck.
Oh, yeah, I see
hate when
The
it's.
ice shop is on Stabler as you're going out past the
Yeah.
library. That's where she was.
Yeah.
For years at least.
I know, yeah, but,
Pick up stuff.
anyway.
Let's see, where's the-
But anyway, so there was this one flyer that y'all had online here, it was a 4-pager, but it was like a table-looking thing that had like an icon, it was like BB Barnes and planters and the nursery, and so.
Good morning,
I was
fine
gonna-
folks.
Hey, how are you? I was gonna work on that one, because I think that's actually more what people need at this event, so. How are you?
Circular is back.
Yes. Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
You got dates yet or anything, or no? Okay.
Of course not.
Don't want to get into a big discussion, but I just figured I care, and I
Thank
hope
you.
you get one. I hope you get a date, that's all that matters.
I appreciate you checking. It's, yeah, it's been a ride. So, but, I did something exciting on Friday.
What did you do exciting?
I went to Marion and got my driver's license
How long did it take you?
and registered to vote
Okay.
and got my tags. So,
Do
all
you
that's.
have an appointment or just do a walk-in?
I just did a walk-in. I walked in at noon on a Friday. I waited 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
we did is, because the morning's appointments,
Mm.
and if you get there around noon, and people say, don't go late in the afternoon, like during the school year, because that's when all the kids are
Right.
doing their road tests.
Good to know.
And so you get
Yeah.
back, because they're out doing road tests.
Right.
But yeah, there's like these sweet spots of windows. And they understand non-treated dresses.
I
And
worked with Terry. She was lovely. I wrote him a review online. I was
Oh,
like, this
good.
was such a, lovely, I mean, compared to many experiences I've had in Georgia.
and there's many DMV experiences I would rather forget.
Right.
I've taken many a long novel. I think I read War and Peace one time.
Well, which is why, like, I did it in Atlanta. I went to a location that was close to our house when we moved.
Yeah.
And I was just doing a change of address.
Yeah.
And, I got there at 8 a.m. when the doors opened. I was literally done in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wrote the DMV a review, and so I wrote Terry a review as well.
Good for
I
you.
was just
That's
like,
nice.
I was like, this,
Did you ever find it? You gave
No,
up.
it doesn't have a distribution map. I had a
He was
very
trying.
good experience at a little DMV office in South Carolina. My truck registration is end of December. And so you pay taxes in November, and they send you the thing. Well, I never got my upgraded sticker. So I've been driving around here cautiously with that old sticker and had to take the truck to South Carolina
Oh, no.
a couple of weeks ago. I thought, well, let's see, if I can get caught now, I'll be in good shape. So I went by this place, and the line was in the lobby, and it was one step at a time. And it just moved right on down through. There were probably 15 people ahead of me. Got to the lady at the door, and she said, what do you need? I said, I need my sticker. She says, just go right over here. You don't need any paperwork. She gave me a number, and within 5 minutes, I was called. 5 minutes of filling out the paperwork that she had to do, and I had my registration and my sticker. So I did. I went home, and I wrote to DMV. And thank the Lord, a couple of days later, I got a message
Alicia.
back.
She lives in somebody's property where Chestnut, that
Oh,
field
that
was.
one. Oh, okay. Were you the one that cleared it?
Yeah.
We love you.
Couldn't take it anymore.
Well, I walked out and I saw the guy in the backhoe, and I'm like, hi, because, the Griffiths are your next door neighbors. So they're one of my clients, and I've been doing some help with them, for them on their house.
Okay,
And
yeah,
I-
we've seen some work going on there.
And I looked out the back window and I was like, I wonder if this guy knows this is private or town property. So I walked over and talked to him, and he was like, oh yeah, he's like, everybody knows. I'm like, okay. But thank you, that was a lovely effort.
It's been years of talking about what to do with it, and, everyone, the Audubons are gone, and
Mhm.
Mike Sonnenberg is gone, and they were the ones who really kept up the garden. And nobody wanted to,
Mhm.
or had the inclination or the where-how to
Mhm.
take care of the garden from then on, so we're just like, all right. Everybody's been talking about getting it cleaned up, nobody's done it, and we're having work done at the house. So
Mhm.
I'm like, hey, Daniel.
Now, Tell me about your front step. Are you happy with Fernando's work?
I love Fernandez.
Okay, I'm talking with them about doing something on the front of the Griffiths house, and
Yeah.
we've been over there like looking at the stonework and everything. It's
Oh my gosh,
beautiful.
it's beautiful. They've
Yeah.
done an amazing job.
Good.
You know, what's funny is, I don't know, there was a miscommunication at first about, like, I thought I was clear about what I wanted the front to look like.
Mhm.
And somewhere between me and Nick, the contractor, and Fernando, something, Nick showed me a picture of like where they were, because we're in Atlanta.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm like, oh, that's, and he goes, no problem, no problem. And then next picture, exactly what we wanted, so,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Now, where are you in Atlanta?
Pardon?
Where in Atlanta are you?
Brookhaven.
I just moved there I lived there for 30 years. Yeah. So I lived right behind Costco in Brookhaven. We built in that Linwood Park neighborhood, lived there for 20 years, moved to Dunwoody in 19, and then I moved up here this time last year. So, but yeah,
So
so,
we're right off of Evergreen, that cut through between.
oh yeah,
Windows.
definitely.
You know that?
Yeah, my daughters went to OLA,
Okay.
and then they ended up at St. Pius after that. So we know that whole area very well.
I just love it there.
Good, good. Well,
My husband's family's had a house here in Virginia since
which house?
60s, 118, right next door to
Where the big field is,
where we were just talking
Oh,
about.
that house is,
That house.
that, okay, got it.
that big remodel.
Got it. Okay, because my family house is Birdwood, which is on the corner of
That
Virginia,
brown one?
huge brown one on the corner. That's my family house. And I'm the one who did the renovation on that when it flooded.
Gosh, that was a lot of work.
Yeah,
Good for you.
it was a 12-month project.
I believe it.
And so started coming up here and spending, a week or two at a time up here working on that. And was just like, I need to be here full time. I was like, because I got to see all the seasons, and I was just like, yeah, this is where I need to be.
Well, I just retired in August. My husband's retiring. He's in the process right now.
He said he is, but I doubt it.
I know. I'm like,
He said, hey,
What did you do in
and I'm
Atlanta?
like, that's
What did you do in Atlanta?
too
I
much.
was a teacher
Okay, in what school system?
in Gwinnett County, so up in the street corners.
Okay, know it all very well. Yeah, well, congratulations on your retirement.
So we decided now that I was retired, we would start, I mean, the house hasn't been touched since it was built in the 60s.
Wow.
Yeah, so it needed some love, and, but we needed one of us to be available to come up.
Right. Well, I mean, if you need me, I can help you. Because I did my house remote, from Atlanta. And so like with the Griffiths, they're like, we have this laundry list of stuff we want done, but we don't want to do it when we come up to vacation.
Yeah.
And so I've been running projects for them, and we've done the dehumidification of their basement, we're working on the front stoop, we're working on replacing the deck. I mean, so we've got a lot of things in progress. So if you have an emergency, call me. I'm here, and this is,
It's been great.
so will you all come up full time, or do you think it's going to be?
Full-time, we later on with our base, but I want to spend a lot more time.
Do you have children and grandchildren?
Yes.
Fantastic.
So, and they come up every year, and it's always been cramped, when you get 4 kids and 3 grandkids and.
And how many bedrooms do you have in that?
Only a 3-2 right now.
Okay. And will you expand it, or you think? Or?
We're working 2 phases, so this phase was working on what's existing inside, so the main living area, like the kitchen is this big. And
No heating, no air.
Oh, gosh,
Y'all
okay.
can- Sorry, since it's 9, can we do our meeting, which I think will be quick? Ed cannot make it
Okay.
today,
Okay.
and Ann cannot make it today, but if we do our official meeting,
And then we can chit chat.
then we can talk. Okay. How about that? And I thought Mason, Ed said Mason might be coming, but anyway, he'll catch up. If he- There's,
Thank you for keeping us on track.
meetings are one of those things that should start and should stop.
Yeah, it's kind of we always joke about being a protocol for the job.
You have to have beer.
Your favorite chair.
Yes, I have been doing an informal evaluation of the number of men without facial hair, and I think it's like 10%.
Once we move, John's gonna have to have a beer.
It's worthwhile in the winter, I can assure you. They're-
Okay, so welcome everybody to the tree board meeting on February 10th. I think this will be a quick meeting. Ed asked me to sit in to lead the meeting because he can't be here today. He should be calling in on, or he may be calling in on Zoom, and so we may have him there. And Ann is unable to come today, so, but I think with 3 of us here, and we should be good to go. So I guess let's begin with a moment of silence. Amen. Let's see, on using Ed's agenda that he prepared, the first item is approval of the January 13 meeting minutes, which there were copies there. Have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? All right, old minutes are approved. Let's see, going down the order of business here that on the agenda, let's see, the Tree City application. Ed passed on a little bit of information about that. Whatever cycle it's normally due on, we were going to try to get it in by the end of January, but that's been extended now to the end of February. Montreat and other jurisdictions are not the only ones who are requesting extensions. So Ed said that there shouldn't be any problem finishing that up and getting it done. Let's see, Ashley, any updates for Hemlocks?
No, but I do have some discussion about it. So we have not done, our last project on Hemlock was done April, and then we did the injections and we got those completed. I think it's time for us to start thinking about the next project. With the Land Care Festival of April 11th, it could be interesting to do it somewhere around there, or I was thinking closer to Memorial Day weekend to have maybe some out-of-towners who are coming in for Memorial Day weekend to participate maybe the Thursday before or something along those lines. I wasn't here when you all organized it the first time, so I'm not sure how it was initiated and how we got all the pieces in place to get to that day. So I'm interested in hearing about what you all had to do to kick it off again, or kicked it off the first time.
So Joe, for last April's, Joe and I worked with HRI to find a mutually, they had some dates that they had open that they could work. And we had to, make the decision, did we want a weekday or a weekend? And we picked weekday, I guess. And then we just went forward with that and then started advertising and finding volunteers. So because we needed their staff to do the supervision and bring the chemicals and, so their availability became one of the factors. HRI had also come out prior and done surveys of trees. I don't know if the town or the tree inventory or, so we need to figure out how we're going to identify trees and what area we're going to treat. But HRI had come out and one day by themselves and actually gone out and up and down the creek here and identified trees. And so I think this year that who's deciding which trees we're treating and in which part of, I don't know, Montreat's public roads, the creek, going, where are we treating? And I'm open to suggestions on that.
Do you have any priorities that you're aware of?
I do not have any priorities as far as what sections of town that are treated. But, I would assume that we have to, if the tree board from the town is treating, it would need to be in the right of ways. And any other treatment would probably need to be discussed with the MRA or the college.
Well, and I think it's time to have that discussion with MRA because my knowledge so far is that they did do treatments 3 to 4 years ago, which means the product has expired now. And, there are so many beautiful hemlocks on MRA's property. So I would like to go talk with them about figuring out if we can have a coordinated effort where maybe we do everything together. That way we might have some investment from them, we might have some investment from the tree board and from the town. I want to make sure that we're working on this as a collaborative effort, and not just picking and choosing something that's just in the town, because so many of our valuable trees are on MRA's property, so.
Yeah, I did go and talk with Tanner, and that's part of the reason and reached out to them, which is part of the reason they sent us this email saying, oh, we treated 80 trees on our property and didn't tag them. So it's kind of an unknown 80 trees, but it was on all their properties.
Right.
Which percentage-wise, I have no idea how that works out. So having that discussion again, but because of this odd, I agree that it should be town trees that we're treating if it's a town effort. But there's these weird access rules on what is MRA have something. So we had them in the loop so that they gave us kind of blanket permission that if we're walking across their land, or, accessing town land because of their land, or whatever these dual purpose things are that we have in Montreat, that, they were aware and we had their permission to treat trees on their land, so, or
Okay.
this blended land.
Well, and after you had that conversation with Tanner, I went back further and actually got the company who did the work, and they don't have the records
Oh, they
either.
don't, so you did even more, yeah.
Yeah, there's no tracking for that effort. But again, because it was 3 to 4 years ago, it's sort of irrelevant at this point. They need to
Yeah.
be treated again, so.
I did not have any success trying to loop in the college because they track a number of trees in one of their programs. It's the trees with the little silver tags on them.
Okay.
Because they're doing beetle populations and tree health of those. And so I don't know if that information would be helpful in trying to identify, because we want to protect the beetle population and we want to protect the trees. And so maybe there's something there that's possible, but again, I just don't know how much bandwidth and time and energy and I don't know if anything's ever been done in the past with that crossover.
I'm not 100% sure what's been done between town and the college. I did see their guys out the other day. They had several small crews out looking at hemlocks, getting heights and DVHs and stuff like that. So, I know they are working on some hemlock stuff, but I think that's more along the lines of their program that they've got going on up there. So that would, it would never hurt to reach out
Right.
to whoever that would be.
So I've spoken with the woman who runs their environmental science program on that, and it's basically an environmental science 101 class. And so they're teaching them how to do the evaluation of the beetle population. My understanding is they are not treating. And from that respect, we don't need to worry about the timing of the treatments in relation to the beetles, as long as we're not treating from June to basically October, because that's when the beetles are in movement. The beetles are in the ground in the winter season. And so if we treat in the winter season, we could actually kill the beetles. So that's one of the reasons you don't treat during the winter season. So I think May is probably our last window if we want to move forward with something. But anyway, I wanted to have that discussion so we can start thinking about what we want to do. I plan to reach out to MRA to figure out how they want to be engaged or not. I think the next piece is kind of what we did before, was the identification, as well as trying to determine how much effort we need from HRI. Now that I've got the licensing, I can get the product, I can get the equipment, but I'm not sure if we want to invest in that much equipment. So we kind of need to work through that. So that's where I am on hemlocks.
That sounds awesome.
Okay.
Thank you for taking the lead on that.
And then I can keep going on North Carolina wildlife if you'd like me to.
I was
Or-
going to say, what if we jump, because Alicia, is that right? If we just jump for 1 second to Chestnut, since you were kind enough to come, I don't know if you have time to sit for the whole meeting or if you need to slip out. You've got time. Do you mind listening to the Swan and a Wild? Okay, well, we'll just keep going on the
right.
Wildlife Federation then.
So as a refresher, the North Carolina Wildlife Federation has earmarked $10,000 for Montreat to put towards tree plantings. And I sent out an email on the exchange as well as the community listserv this week on their fundraising efforts for their local club. If you're interested in supporting them, buy a t-shirt. I'm gonna go pick them up from their group, and I'll do deliveries in Montreat whenever they get those packaged up. The thing that we as a tree board need to really think about and start to narrow down is what do we think we need to do with that $10,000. And I presented at the town meeting, and I'm forgetting whether it was December or January, about this effort, and so the council is aware of it. The community is aware of it as much as they can be, and I asked for suggestions. I've received none. But the primary one that keeps coming to the forefront is the Flat Creek Crossing project. And I've had some conversations with different folks about how we've been talking about it, because I kind of went the science direction. I said, is there really a big need for this? Like, is there a powerful reason that we should be doing this? And they said, oh, absolutely, we're losing stream bank every day. You might be able to confirm that, but I feel like we haven't had a lot of urgency around Flat Creek Crossing, and I'm wondering if by the tree board saying, hey, we are interested in committing this money to this project, that how can we help them move this project a little bit forward faster? So
I can answer those questions really easily.
With dollars, huh?
We've been so tied up for the last 3 months writing the $600,000 grant proposal, which was due, what's this, is February, the end of January, which got submitted. And we will have an answer, I think it's March 23rd, 25th, something like that.
Okay, and we applied for 600,000?
I know that in the discussions, preparing that grant proposal and so forth, the thinking has been that, let's plan to include tree planting in the process and make use of this $10,000. So I don't know whether that got, obviously it didn't get transmitted to you. If you said you hadn't heard from anybody.
Well, no, I had spoken with Flat Creek Crossing, but there's no other group that's come forward since then.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like,
we're counting on that.
I feel good about that choice and that decision, but I'm not going to make that on my own.
Right now, we feel very good about the grant possibilities based on conversations with the people that represent us on the grant situation.
All right, two clarifying
The proposal
questions.
that we've put together, it will have significant impact in the town and in the crossing project.
And so for clarification, you said March 20-something, give or take?
Yeah, I don't remember the date. I don't do dates and don't do names.
And you said that we've applied for 600,000, is that correct? Fantastic. Do you think, and it's a 1-to-1 match, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the town would have to come up with 300?
Not necessarily the town.
Okay.
Let's not get that rumor started.
All right.
Can I ask if that grant is strictly for trees?
So the space right over here that was effectively wiped out during Helene, there was originally, before Helene, there was a plan to create an all-access, handicap-accessible path and environment. And a lot of the land that was going to be used to help build that up is gone. And so the effort became much larger than it was previously. And so that they had to step back and revise. So, okay. Well, let's.
Do we need to have a motion or something that the tree board, or, okay, there's town land right near that Flat Creek Crossing too, right? Because of the maintenance sheds on the far side? Oh, it's all town, okay. So do you have any concerns with if these trees and monies and stuff go towards that area?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the Flat Creek Crossing is being very well taken care of and planned out. And that's an awesome idea to add that 10,000 in, because I mean, you will need, obviously there'll be some creek restoration go on, as well as trying to stabilize that bank with plants and, native trees being planted around. I mean, I think it adds so much to what they're trying to do, and that's $10,000 goes a long way when you're talking about planting some trees.
Well, and also Swannanoa Valley Wild and the Wildlife Federation have access to trees at perhaps wholesale
Yeah,
rates and things like that, so.
Absolutely.
So do we need a motion that the tree board supports, focusing this grant towards that? Do we need to make an official kind of action? Or next meeting?
I have a motion that we vote on it next meeting.
Okay, I don't know, we need a motion for that, okay.
Better than we would.
But, since nobody else has come up, it seems the town
Mm-hmm.
liaison to the board supports it, Land Care supports it, so, anyway, yeah, we can bring it up again at the next meeting and, see if we need to officially state something or not. I'm a newbie at this official stuff, so.
All right. Well, let's postpone the final conversation perhaps till next meeting.
Okay.
And then I would like to have, a council member present as well
Oh,
as
yeah.
an Ed present to just
Seal it.
rubber stamp everything.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Make it official.
I'm done now.
You're done. All right, the next item is a Land Care Tree Board update. I'm not sure why my name's on that. Somebody help me.
Is that the festival?
Oh, maybe that's the festival, which, yeah, I had said to edit anyway. Ashley, myself, and Ann are participating in the organization of the April 11th Land Care Festival and Arbor Day celebration. I think a lot of things are on track. Ashley has spent a lot of time contacting vendors and participants. And then we're also trying to arrange different speakers and events during that day. It is a Saturday. And then we can always use more help and assistance if anybody has more time or interest in helping with some portion of that. Just you can speak to us after the meeting. I forget when is our next meeting?
I think we're meeting next week.
Next week. I think next week is our
The
next
festival-
planning meeting.
The festival meeting.
For the festival
You're
meeting.
welcome to come.
You're welcome to come for the festival meeting. It'll be a Saturday. I think it'll be really fun and interesting, and a lot of good information can be put out to Montreat. It's going to be advertised in Montreat and in Black Mountain, and I'm not sure how. So it's a greater festival, partially for our community, but then also bringing other people into Montreat and us hosting something there. We will need to be sure there's an official Arbor Day proclamation at that event. And anything else to add on that?
Only that the Chestnut Foundation, Swannanoa Valley Wild, Tree City USA, all of the supporters who have been supporting us will also be there. So they've been really excited to be included.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I'm working with Greenworks to try to see if we can, Greenworks Asheville, to see if we can get some trees or shrubs or something for a giveaway. Initially, I kind of asked, since these would be going to residents probably, I asked for more understory trees and shrubs because that's what most people would have room to add onto their property.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do have larger trees, I'll take whatever we get because I don't know who's coming. And I'm sure there's some places where people have either lost vegetation or lost trees or trying to do their slopes or whatever that large trees might be of interest to. I'll take what we can get. I don't have a lot, so. New business, chestnut planting. Let's see, Ed said that the Chestnut Foundation came out and took soil samples of this proposed site here between Virginia and Assembly. They're not sure that it's quite big enough for their orchard, but they may make it more of an education type plot with some sample trees planted. And then I wanted to get, and the soil samples were sent to Clemson for testing. I don't know how long that takes, and I just know it happened. So I was going to say I want to throw the floor over to Alicia Dunbar, who very kindly has cleared the land and taken down the fences and probably has some other information for us.
Yeah, and some questions as well.
Okay.
So I have not met Ed.
Okay.
I spoke with him over the phone one time. But I don't know what the plan is for that piece of land. And I don't think anything was communicated. I know nothing was communicated to us. And the connects on the other side didn't know anything about it either. So if you could explain
So initially, when the Chestnut Foundation came to us, they were looking for what they call a progeny site. And that is where it has to be a certain size, and so far, we don't actually think the space is enough for a full progeny site. So it would be chestnut trees planted in 5 to 6 in the first 2 years, then they would evaluate which ones survived, which variations survived, because they're all genetically modified now in order to avoid the blight. Then whichever ones survived, they might plant more. That was the initial hope. I don't think the site is large enough, and we don't know if the soil quality is the right standard. And so we're exploring with them what could be done on the site that would be acceptable to the neighborhood, but also a positive use of the land that is, you know, a beautification project rather than obviously what was there before. So right now we are in exploration of trying to figure out what is the best solution. So I appreciate your engagement.
Thank you, and it's good to know, and I have some concerns about the project. My main concern is that, and I'm looking at the chestnut tree at all, except that they grow to be about 100 feet tall. And if you plant chestnut trees on that land, it will effectively block any view of the mountain. I'm sorry.
No, this is intended to be a test site. They will
So
never
Little
get
bitty
to be
things,
100 feet tall.
Yeah.
I just know that chestnut trees get to be gigantic.
Yeah.
And so if you could explain, I'm still not clear. You're saying, no, it's a test site and you're going like this. Are they temporary things?
Well, the challenge right now is most chestnuts don't live more than 25 years. And so that's what they're trying to figure out. One of the interesting facts that they explained to us was that Montreat had some of the most, I think it's the highest population of chestnut trees ever, like across the country. And so they believe that we're still a very viable site for them. However, it's going to be a test. Yeah, and so, I mean, to the point where they were like, no, these saplings are, you know, we put them in the ground for 2 years. They have to be weeded and protected and things like so there would be an effort to care for the trees.
So how do you access them?
I believe there's the right-of-way.
There's
that
town
is-
right-of-way to that land.
Mhm.
Where is that?
I believe it's between your house and the Griffiths house.
And
The Griffiths house.
in
Hmm.
that, where it is?
That's part of the challenge is we're all trying to figure that out. We're trying to get all of the dimensions and the, what do you call it, the surveying, so we understand exactly what is there.
Okay. And my other question is water source for those trees. They need to be watered, which I assume they do at least during the summer. So I just don't understand. I have had no communication, and neither have my neighbors. So I guess we'd like to be more involved.
I love
in the
that.
conversation.
I love that. And to be honest, we've all been brainstorming with what is the highest and best use of that space. And having you all engage with it would be fantastic. So thank you.
Okay. So how do we make that communication more open?
Right now, Ed is taking the lead on it. And he's having the conversations with the groups. But I think your attendance here is a great start. And just being part of our committee that, you know, participates in the design of the solution. Because to your point, it wasn't a very good solution previously.
No.
Mhm.
I mean, it was wonderful decades ago
Mhm.
when the Omnibus were here and my son was here and we took care of it and it was a nice little garden, but that's hasn't been that way for a long time.
Right.
So one question, I don't know if this pertains to this board or not, but right now, everything's just been taken out and cleared away and it's just dirt.
Mhm.
So, our initial intent, our thought was just to put some grass seed and help take care of mowing it, whatever, as needed. But at this point, I don't know that that's appropriate to do.
You got any comment?
Are we talking about the land where the community garden was?
Yes.
Gotcha. So again, you know, I I'm probably not the guy to be talking about what the town's using land or what they plan on doing with it. But I think to alleviate maybe some of your worry and stress, on the height of the trees and all this stuff, generally speaking, none of us will ever see those trees get to their mature height. But I think the college did this several years ago, down at their campus at the Indy Oaks. They did a chestnut planting down there. And, those trees, I don't know how many years ago it was, but I think those got about 15 or 20 feet. And probably 3/4 of them did that. But it basically would be just a small testing site to see if the trees are going to do good here. But as far as the land goes, that would be a question for probably Barry or Savannah on that, to see what all this, when surveying's done and all that, what's there, what's available. If there's a buffer between private residence, homes to, give some space so you're not, you don't have a bunch of, crews coming in and working right behind your house and stuff like that. But, as far as like these trees being an issue to anybody's property or threatening homes, I don't think we'll ever have to worry about that. But I would definitely suggest that Ed or whoever wants to get on an email chain to contact the surrounding neighbors and make sure everybody's on the same page with what's happening, what's going on. Hey, we're having a survey. We're going to push forward with a small test site. But, unfortunately, I think it might be hard to find a big plot of land that's going to be big enough in the Chestnut Foundation size to do a proper test site.
I think that's the only piece that we even thought was an option, and they're saying it's too small.
I know the site down at Indy Oaks wasn't a huge site, but, it was, each tree was planted a fair piece apart, probably 10 feet apart, and there was quite a few trees down there. And I don't know exactly what happened to those at all, the construction was getting ready to happen, but, I think it'll probably be bulldozed, is my guess. But, with the modifications that are made to the genes in the trees, they do have a better chance of survival, but your chances of them actually thriving and, growing to a full tree is going to be slim. Still at this point, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, that property is not, I don't think it's that big, that time.
Yeah. So kind of, just since you have some expertise and whoever else, so right now the land's been cleared, and like you said, it's just dirt. Do we need to get some grass seed thrown on it or something just to keep the soil from washing or to prevent, sediment from moving around or impacting? Because I think that's kind of the short-term thing, or?
Well, just something to keep it, we got rid of the neglected garden because it was an eyesore, so we don't want to have replaced it with an eyesore of just a mud pit. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
grass would be, and again, we had planned on doing that. I didn't know if that would be okay, or
I would want to confer with Barry, because I don't actually know who had the site cleaned up. We drove by and saw it one day, and oh wow, somebody cleaned up the old garden. But if I can get some contact information from you before we leave, I'll get with Barry and we'll have a chat about, if you guys are good with whatever is going on back there and reseeding it and putting some straw out, just to do, the look of it. Let me get with Barry and talk to him and make sure, because I don't want to make a call about town property without going through the proper channels, and that's going to be Barry and Savannah, on that issue. But I wouldn't see a problem with you guys throwing some grass seed out and covering it with some straw, some ryegrass for the winter, and then you could reseed it in the spring with fescue or whatever you wanted to. But again, I'll get some contact information from you, and we'll get on the same page about what's going to happen back there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, because that kind of takes care of a short-term solution in terms of, the whole protecting the soil, protecting the creek, whatever, protecting, you know, and then that can if it's grass, it can always get changed into, you know, that short term, whatever the long term is, it's not hard to convert that again into something else, I think.
Good.
Does that get most of your questions? Okay, I think it's a process that we're working kind of both sides to the middle about what is the land, how does it work, you know, in that neighborhood with the neighbors, with also whatever initiatives that the town has or that we have as environmental stewards, or working with other organizations trying to you know, get both sides to work together and find a good use for that town property.
And I know that particular property is unique in that it sits right in the middle of a bunch of backyards. But I do know that it's really, really easy to under-communicate, and it's almost impossible to over-communicate. And having run my own school, I know that from experience. Like most people get stressed out from either lack of communication or miscommunication or under-communication. And I think that there's some talk right now about like, wait a minute, what's going on? They're going to plant Christmas trees, so they're going to be so big, and how are you going to maintain? And just a lot of questions and uncertainty. So a better line of communication would be good. And I don't know exactly what that looks like other than, I mean, I can talk to neighbors. We don't live here right now. We can't live in our house right now because we're renovating. But I can try to let people know. But there seems like there could be.
Do you have contact information for all of your neighbors?
Not all of them, but some of them, and I can get them.
Okay. Well, if you can help us get the people and their contact information, then we can work with Ed to start a communication channel.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, I know Ed, and you guys probably know this, but Angie we can bring up a map, and I'm sure Angie can get contact information for all the neighbors bordering that property. And if you see so fit.
People are in the cottages.
Yeah, I was going to say the cottagers directory too would have it. So.
And so that way, there can be a group of surrounding neighbors chatting with Ed and the board to stay on the same page. And of course, and again, I'm sorry, we've been hard at it, and I've missed several tree board meetings, so I'm a little out of the loop on what's going on. But the town definitely needs to be aware of what's happening up there too, because, and I'm sure Ed's gone through all the proper channels for that to make sure we are covering our bases on what the town's doing not to upset neighbors and residents.
Yeah. Anything else on that one? All right. Takes care of the tree board website in new business. I pulled down I got with Ed to try to find the tree management guide, which is a tree board document that we're responsible for upkeeping and revising or reviewing periodically. I managed to get from Ed a thumb drive, and that the current tree management guide is 100 and some odd pages long. Yeah, that's what I did when I opened it the first time. And it was last looked at in like 2019, so we are beyond time to go through it. So anyway, I found this thumb drive. It appears that the document is divided into some 40 plus different sub-files in that thumb drive, so I was going to try to work on compiling it into one document, and maybe we can separate out some of, like there was a tree inventory done, so maybe that could exist as a separate kind of document, so that our tree management guide is literally about managing versus inventory. So kind of thinking about the structure of that and then getting around. So that's kind of a work in progress.
And what is that document called?
It's the Montreat Tree Management Guide. And then on this thumb drive of Ed, I also found that there's rules and procedures for the tree board that I didn't know existed, and I have yet to read them, so hopefully I'm not breaking any rules or procedures. That was also not it was multiple page document. And what else did I found? I found some of the land care has some nice documents about what are natives, what are invasives. And so I pulled those up and those were all dated 2014, which just looks old. And so kind of in this nexus of just trying to be helpful, while those are land care documents, I tried to go through and at least like fix the links there were links to the National Wildlife Federation and the Asheville Botanical Garden, and a lot of those were just outdated. Good morning, welcome.
I had a meeting that, I apologize.
You are welcome anytime. So anyway, so I was trying to update those documents and just get a 2026 date on them, fix the links so that they become more useful. And then I've sent them over to Land Care because they really own some of those documents, the what are natives, what are invasives, and then their fact sheets. So in anticipation of the April 11th event, they're good sources of information. What is an invasive has not changed since 2014, just the links to the sites that talk about them, more or less. So kind of building on things that have been done in the past. So anyway, I was going to try to take a look at some of these tree board documents that need to be reviewed and looked at. Other new business, treasure tree. I don't think there's anything on the treasure tree right now. We're planning, Jason and I believe Nancy are going to lead a treasure tree walk at the April 11th event, so that would be our next one. I did want to come up, I feel like I'm echoing Ashley, kind of a plan for if we want nominations from residents on their land for new trees to be designated into the treasured tree program. So I'll try to present a timeline at the next meeting, but initially I was thinking if we could, advertise it in, I guess we're getting towards March, sometime in March through maybe the end of April, so we can advertise it at the April 11th event, kind of close nominations or a cycle of nominations the end of April, because then the Swannanoa Valley Tree Alliance could come out and look at whatever trees got nominated as a set, because that makes good use of their time, and then they would be approved. So we'd kind of move one set through in April, then May, June, or whenever the Tree Alliance.
And I have run that plan past LaRonda, who is on that group, and she was like, that would be fantastic. She was like, that would be really helpful if you all could manage it and then submit to us what you think are the right candidates.
Yeah. And I think, I'll defer to George, I think I don't know, have more tree expertise, but I think, the trees, when they're evaluated, they need foliage, so by closing, the end of April or something, people are either going to do it or they're not, so have it April, and then there would be foliage on the trees in May, June, the summer, for them to look at. Okay, cool. I'll come up with a flyer or something for the next meeting. Inventory, Tyler, anything?
I know Barry and Mason talked about doing
Yeah,
12, 13.
Barry was hoping to get some trees down, I think, last month, but it just, with all the weather, it's just put a kibosh on it.
And probably in the next month or two, they're gonna get those done, and then sometime between now and that, hopefully the summer, North Carolina group is gonna come in and start working, clearing the creek from the gate up to the top of Graybeard, or something to clean all those dead trees out, and like a 50-50, it's kind of like a freebie, but not really kind of thing, so he just let them do it whenever they get around to it, and it's more of a freebie thing that this group from North Carolina, whatever, coming in to do all that, so.
So we think in the spring, there'd be this tree clearing.
It's the Army Corps of Engineers that's had this project up.
Okay.
So you can't bet on time.
Okay.
There really truthfully probably is no timeline. I know they've probably given Barry a date to say, hey, we're planning on trying to do this during this time. And you have to look at, spawning seasons for all the creek life, because the post-Helene stuff is over. We're not in a state of emergency. They just can't climb into the creek and start clearing debris. You got to make sure that all the wildlife moratoriums and spawning seasons are coincided with their eligibility to get into the creek. I have not spoken directly with Gary on whatever timeframe they've given him, but after Helene, the crews that had done the creeks and were supposed to do all of Buncombe County did not come into Montreat. Barry made that phone call to the headquarters in Kentucky. We were told they pulled out. Barry contacted Army Corps. Army Corps agreed to come in and clean the creeks. But again, you're working with Army Corps. It's a government, you know, so it's not, you can hope and pray it's in spring, but you really don't know.
There was a 1-year contract, so it's from like January to January that they will do it, or February to February, it's just in that 12-month period. I mean, they could come July 1st, or they could come April 1st, so that's pretty much separate from tree board and everything, but eventually the creek will start to clear out within a year.
No, I appreciate that they're working with whoever, because I heard rumor that I guess there still are some hell benders in Black Creek somewhere, so I don't know if they're up here, but protecting those or other salamanders, birds, whatever else we've got.
Fish and birds and bats and any kind of animal.
Yeah, so
There are
that's,
certain times you can go in, creek and do work, sometimes you can't for 2 months or a week or two, so.
okay, no, that's great. Let's see, going down the agenda, any other public works comments?
No, ma'am, just go ahead.
All right, Commissioner?
No,
Go ahead.
no, I didn't.
I thought you were raising.
No, I wasn't raising my hand.
I know. Any comments for us?
No.
I have a question for Mason. If it's, I'd like to go back to the Swannanoa, the
Okay.
wildlife donation that they've earmarked for Montreat, the $10,000.
Yes.
We have not had any other groups come forward aside from Flat Creek Crossing. If the tree board would like to commit that to Flat Creek Crossing, is there anything formal that we need to do? Is there a vote or anything like that that needs to happen?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I'll have to check with Savannah, but the money will have to go, well, there'll have to be a vote in the sense that, I mean, all money is going to, even a donation is going to have to go into a budget category.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll have to be expended pursuant to a budget category. And probably it'll be lumped in a budget amendment at some point, I would guess.
I'm not sure if they're actually going to present us a check or if they're going to present us the plantings themselves.
Oh, okay.
So it may be that
That
they just,
wouldn't need
right.
action.
I was just trying to figure out if the tree board, in order for us to say, we're going to commit this money to this particular project, do we need to do anything formally as the tree board?
Vote in support of that money going in that direction, or is that more a council thing since it's town land?
There's no requirement in terms of town operations. It certainly wouldn't be a bad idea for the tree board to do a resolution supporting, or asking the council, supporting it, asking the council to maybe thank the donor and formally designate the
Okay.
funds for the trade. Not the funds,
Either the funds or the in-kind, whatever. The tree board supports using that town location versus whatever other lands there are in Montreat.
Well, I want to lock down Swannanoa
Yeah.
Valley Wild as well.
Yeah, I want to lock them down.
So, yeah, I think the resolution perhaps is the right thing to do and have the resolution read at a town council meeting. Is that something that we can do?
Sure.
Okay.
Again, I think the agenda's Savannah's domain, so we need to work it through Savannah, but it's not a problem.
I don't think the timing is super important, and whether it's, next week or whether it's a month or 2 months from now, but I think
Yeah.
I'd like to have that formalized, so we can
I certainly see
make that commitment.
nothing but positive to do that.
Okay.
All right, anything else? Any other business? All right, is there a motion to adjourn? The next meeting is March 10th. I guess I'm supposed to read that. Have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All right, meeting's adjourned.
Can I get your contact information?
Sorry. 8 o'clock, and I fully expected it to be over with, it just was.
What is your phone number?
402-757.
And I know it's shocking, but I have 404 as well. All right, do I have that right? DUNBAR?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, just working on kind of just trying to figure out when our next Hemlock project might be, where to tree, when to tree.
That's the one I get the most variations on.
All right.
The Wildlife Federation, that's at 10,000.
Okay. I'm assuming I can text you that number. Okay. So my married name is Marat, which is disappearing soon. And so you'll see my name come up both. So my maiden name is Manson. My last name is Marat. So I will send you the whole thing. Just know that Marat's going to disappear. Yes. There you are. Okay, so,
Really, like when the guy was planning, he didn't realize how low the power lines were going across that garden. So I mean, he can only put a 15, 20-foot tree at the most, because the power lines are all run right there. He only talks about less than 1,000 square foot space.
So anyway, so they generously, I guess, cleared that land. And so now we talked a little bit about, should they put down
I mean, we see in it, because of the mud, but, I mean, if it's gonna be, I think it's not gonna do anything, if it's gonna be washed away, but it's been done by now.
but anyway, can they just throw some grass seed on it? And so anyway, so they're gonna check with Barry and, just doing something to make it look better. Well, it also, there's a lot of people that get concerned about water quality in Black Creek, so you throw grass seed on it, and you're not, I don't know that so it's pretty flat there, but,
I just throw seed on it. They're gonna pay for it, throw seed on it.
throw seed on it, because you can always plow grass out pretty easy again. So to me, that's not an issue. So anyway, but there was some concerns about communication with the property owners around the lot as to what is happening with that lot.
2, 4, about 5 houses.
She also had concerns, I think the Chestnut Hill, they think it's too small for the progeny test site of the Hungry Tree. But maybe they could make it into kind of an education farm or something like that, so we could get some chestnuts. So then, having heard, even with the lack of well-being, we haven't really communicated to the neighbors that that was the new plan for that site. They had concerns about this chestnuts growing be, is that going to block our view? As George succinctly said, nothing's going to go to West Peak in our lifetimes, which is true. And those chestnuts die before we get about 25 feet.
This
So
is test plan. This is for the future. This isn't for
So anyway,
permanent landscape.
so I'm just kind of passing on and doing this show about the use of it, how does that, how does it impact my view, how does it, whatever it is, it's town property, so we do all live in a community together, but on a certain, when push comes to shove, it's town property. And if tulip poppies just growing up there all by themselves, they're gonna grow a lot faster than any chestnuts. So, it's a balance there, but anyway, the point of having communication.
They'll grow and limbs will fall and
Well, better sycamore, their limbs, they just throw their limbs everywhere, so anyway.
tulip was about the same.
So,
We don't notice it here because because they're also going on tall, but you look at all the numbers.
Yeah. So anyway, so there, it was just kind of, we're deciding, we're trying to unify it. I mean, the town is trying to make it better than the derelict. That wasn't. She did ask if there was access, because yes, there is actually a town right of way that leads to that, so we're not using people's property, but that's where they got it from. Anyway, and I think, so we have a lot of money, that pretty much covers what we talked about, and I think you were here when we were talking about the inventory and the, I tried to,
I won't say
like about that we could use for the April 11th festival, so I think we probably need an official Arbor Day proclamation. April 11th Arbor Day thing, because that's.
You'll just have Savannah
Here, Roxanne,
do
read
that
it.
for March. Mayor typically reads it. So you want to get it
In the March.
well, when is the,
April 11th.
probably we don't have our meeting right now, so probably need to get it on the March meeting, and then what happens is the mayor will read the proclamation over the loudspeakers.
I think that's all, like Ashley's doing a ton of work, Kate Hutton's doing a whole lot of work. So, and then Anderson and I, there's a number of people on the committee, but I most work. Well, so, that's okay, yeah. And Anderson's having a tough morning. So they.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah, just a layer of straw,
Now you're out of your feet.
Savannah, when you talk to,
I know.
make sure she gets the Arbor Day proclamation on the
It's
March
hard to speak.
Commissioner minutes that are adopted.
I'm not married, and when it comes down to town property and what's legal and what's not, I don't want to be the guy to give false information, but at least a piece of mind.
Peace of mind, and I don't know who's actually from me, I see out.
I mean, you know,
I just didn't.
I'm not worried about that. I completely understand. And that's, from the town's aspect, it's about, we gotta be about the road, so.
Yeah, and I
And that's-
is.
Yeah, and I think if they take it out on it cleared, and they want to put the rest down, I know the town's gonna have a problem with that. I mean,
kind of keeping them warm.
Yeah, she's good service.
I figured today and yesterday, they would have been out moving around a little,
They're moving, we don't see them quite much.
not coming down.
We have a little motion center. We're using it back for our house, we wasn't just something, and it kind of like, something's actually coming up our place. There was a transition on it and all, there's last month, there wasn't a lot of.
But in the Bobcat,
It may be the law,
Coyote,
that's been,
During
the
that
dog has
snow,
been.
we saw so many bobcat trains, oh, it's unreal.
I've actually seen a lot of racing tracks.
really hoping that Atlanta will get number one pick, and he'll go Atlanta. That's where he's from.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But those players don't get a choice, all wherever it goes.
It's sad, it's like, you're the best player in college.
Just your work team.
Yep. Yep.
But you have an opportunity to make.
I mean, in 4 years, he should move out. After a 4-year contract, and he can move out. I mean, that's like super flag. I mean, but in that
Recording stopped.